The President, Donald Trump, has made a major trade breakthrough. President Trump has announced a Phase 1 trade deal has been reached with China, paving the way for a broader agreement to end the long-running trade war.
Both sides have made major strides in resolving issues surrounding intellectual property and agricultural products. Donald Trump addressed the media a short time ago.
Had a lot of very big news and some very good news today, but I'd like to hold this for China. There's nothing bigger than what we're doing with China. I think it's important that these are the questions that are asked. And as you know, we have the Vice Premier of China, one of the most respected men in all of China and the world, for that matter. We have great respect for him and great friendship with him. And we've come to a very substantial Phase 1 deal. And I'll go through some of the points, and then I'll ask the Vice Premier to say a few words and any comments that he may have. We've come to a deal pretty much subject to getting it written. It'll take probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or 5 weeks. As you know, we're going to be in Chile together at the big summit, and maybe it'll be then, or maybe it'll be sometime around then. But we've come to a deal on intellectual property, financial services, a tremendous deal for the farmers, a purchase of from $40 to $50 billion worth of agricultural products. To show you how big that is, that would be 2.5, 3 times what China had purchased at its highest point thus far. So they were purchasing 16 or 17 billion at the highest point, and that'll be brought up to 40 billion to 50 billion. So I'd suggest the farmers have to go and immediately buy more land and get bigger tractors. They'll be available at John Deere and a lot of other great distributors. But we're taking the purchase of agricultural products from 40 to 50 billion, meaning in that neighborhood from 40 to 50 approximately billion. And what they've been doing now, I believe, is about 8 billion, right? 8, right now it's 8. The other thing I will say is over the last 2 weeks, a lot of purchases have started going back to our farmers. And you've been doing a lot of business with us, which we appreciate very much. But it really started a few weeks ago. But they intend to go up ultimately, once the agreement is signed, from 40 to 50 billion. And that really that was from a base of probably 16 billion. And right now it's 8 billion. And the 8 billion was lower than 8 billion. They got up to 8 billion because they've been purchasing quite a bit over the last couple of weeks. So we also have the agricultural structural issues. We have some incredible progress on the structure and structural issues. And Bob, perhaps you could discuss that, please, on agriculture, and explain the importance of the structural issues that we've solved.
Well, I would say probably at least as important as the purchases is the fact that we've corrected a variety of SPS, what we call sanitary, phytosanitary issues that we've corrected, biotechnology issues, and it will be much easier now for American farmers to be able to ship to China. And we've made some corrections on our side too that will help them on the Chinese side.
And that's been completed and pretty much done.
That's correct.
Another big issue that we've come to conclusion on is currency, foreign exchange. And Steve, do you want to explain that, please?
Well, we've had very good discussions with Governor Yi, the head of the People's Bank of China, their central bank. We've also had extensive discussions on financial services, opening up their markets to our financial services firms. So we have pretty much almost a complete agreement on both those issues. And as you know, Mr. President, currency has been a very big concern of yours since the campaign. And we have an agreement around transparency into the foreign exchange markets and free markets, so we're very pleased with that.
We've also made very good progress on technology transfer, and we'll put some of technology transfer in Phase 1. Phase 2 will start negotiations almost immediately after we've concluded Phase 1 and papered it. And I think phase one should happen pretty quickly. So you have intellectual property. We have an agreement on intellectual property. Financial services, the banks and all of the financial services companies will be very, very happy with what we've been able to get. And I think China's going to be very happy because they'll be served very well by these great institutions being able to go into China. And it's going to be a tremendous thing for banks and for financial service companies. Agricultural, structural issues, tremendous for the farmers. As Steve said, that's almost as good as, which I disagree with him on that, but it's almost as good as going from 8 billion and then to 16 billion, which was their all-time high, to 40 to 50 billion. So we're going to be up to 40 to 50 billion dollars of agricultural purchases, which means the farmers are going to have to work a lot of overtime to produce that much. That's the largest order in the history of agriculture, by far, by 2.5 times. And technology transfer, we'll have some technology transfer in the agreement, but technology transfer will largely be done here and also in phase two. So we're going to start negotiating phase two after phase one is completed and signed. And then there may be a phase three, or we may get it done in phase two. So you'll either have 2 phases or 3 phases. So we're very happy with it. We have great respect for China, great respect for President Xi. And I want to just tell you that I watched the 70th anniversary in great detail, and it was an incredible event, and congratulations on the 70th, everyone. That was really something very amazing to watch. Mr. Lighthizer has done a terrific job. All of my team, I think, has done a fantastic job. The Vice Premier, I want to just thank you very much for being here with your team. You're very tough negotiators. Congratulations. But it's something that we both realized right from the beginning is very important, not only for China, not only for the U.S., but for the world. And every time there's a little bad news, the market would go down incredibly. Every time there was a little bit of good news, the market would go up incredibly. And yet other news that was also very big, the market just didn't really care. They just seemed to care about the deal with the USA and China, and that's okay with me. So we've had a tremendous, really, negotiation, a very complex negotiation, but something that's going to be great for both countries.